What's going on, all you real beasts? Magic Pat here. Last time we did a tackle review, I said that I would do more catfish equipment, and even though that's coming up soon, I decided that there's a new product that came out just a few months ago that I felt like I needed to talk about right now. So we're going to talk about a bass fishing / saltwater fishing reel, the Tranx 150. Okay, let's dive right into this reel. So it's another one part of the Tranx family, and it is absolutely beautiful. When you take a look at this compared to the old ones, you can actually see a big difference in the body style and the color and shading of the reel and everything. It looks really sleek, really modern. You don't really realize how old the original Tranx line looks until you put this beside it. So incredibly smooth. It's got the micro adjusting drag. It's got star drag. You got your tension knob right here, and then just like the other ones, you can pop up and actually go inside and change the casting. Spool popped up a little bit, but you can actually change the casting on here to get a more precise casting distance. The little knobs pop up or down so you can control everything that way, just like in the original ones. I will say it was a little bit easier to get into, and it locks down a little bit easier. I have braid on here because the reel itself is actually designed to be fished with braid. So whenever you look at the box, you look at the stats online and everything, it actually gives you everything according to braid. So it holds a decent amount. It's not a huge spool by any means. It's smaller than the Tranx 200. So you can get about 150 yards of 20-pound braid, which is pretty close to what I got on here. And the reason for it is it's actually not really designed for bass fishing, although it works really well with bass fishing. I've actually caught several decent bass on this so far. No giants yet, sadly, but we have caught some decent bass in the 3 to 4 pound range. You can see right here, it's got on the front of the reel, the gear ratio is a 7.2 because this is the high gear ratio. So they actually have the XG, which is the extremely fast, extremely high gear. So it's actually like a 8.6 or 8.1, something like that. So I mostly use this reel for wade fishing, which is actually what it was designed for. This is actually the main difference that we're getting to in this reel than the other reels. So this one actually has shielding to block water intrusion from getting inside the reel, because they had Texas and Florida wade fishermen in mind for this, walking through the marshes, casting for redfish, speckled trout, things of that nature. It works really well for that. I actually haven't used it in saltwater yet, but I plan to. This thing is going to be amazing on catching some big old giant speckled trout down in Keaton Beach. So far, whenever I do my wade fishing up little small creeks and stuff after those really big shoal bass, this thing has been amazing. So I actually want to show you the difference in the look between the two reels. So this is the 150 versus the 200. So look at the colors already. Look at the difference. I know my 200 is scratched up, but this thing just looks sleek compared to the original 200 reel. Like I said, it's a smaller spool, but it actually gets right at the same amount of drag. Look at the size difference. Put them side by side. Look at the size difference right here. So they both get the exact same amount of drag, though. They both get about 13 to 15 pounds of drag, depending on how much you lock this thing down. And another big difference is This one is a lot lighter. It's way lighter than the 200. This puppy right here is only 6 ounces. I think it's 6.7 ounces is like the actual weight, but yeah, look how shiny that thing is. I mean, I've barely got any light on it, and it is just reflecting like crazy. It's almost like a polished piece of steel. But yeah, it's amazingly smooth. I've hooked pretty decent bass. I did lose a big bass, I will say that. It's not the reel's fault or the rod. It's just one of those things. But for the first couple of seconds of the fight, I did not think that I was overpowered on a big bass. So we're talking like a 6 to 7 pound fish. This was a decent sized bass. It just come off on the hook. I don't really know how that happened, but the reel was doing amazingly. The drag is super smooth on this thing. If I can actually get a hold of the braid so I can show you. But the drag is really smooth. The casting is really smooth. Looks like I got it there. Okay. Super smooth. Lock it down a little bit. Yeah, you hear that good old braid coming off the spool. All in all, I give this one probably versus the other ones about a 9 out of a 10, where the other ones were probably 7 to 8s out of a 10, just because of the weight issues and everything. Don't get me wrong, I am a big fan of Tranx. I love all of them. I can proudly say I own one of every type of Tranx. You know, sounds kind of bougie, but you know, I always have to save up for my equipment. And we saw this had come out on the market, and I was just kind of intrigued the fact that it is actually sealed for saltwater, because if you remember in some of my older videos, I use my 200 to catch redfish and speckled trout and stuff, which I didn't have any issues with it either. But this one is actually sealed, so it's less of a danger of getting messed up gears. So it's super amazing. I love it to death, and I can't really say too many bad things about it. Another good thing is that, you know, Shimano has got amazing customer service, so if anything goes wrong, they'll back you up on this. I don't foresee having any problems with this reel. You never know. As I test this more and put it up against some crazy fish like I always do all of my equipment, I will definitely let y'all know how it does. So far for the bass fishing though, it's been perfect. I mean, it's super light. I have it paired up on a G Loomis rod that's super light. I have been able to just walk up creeks fishing all day without getting tired, making multiple casts. I mean, within, you know, shoal bass and every little pocket could be a bass. So you're talking hundreds of casts a day, and I don't get tired at all. So, but yeah, that's it. That's another review. I love this reel. I love how it looks. I love how it performs. If I could, I would have more of these just for fishing out of my kayak, which will be the next thing that I use this in. So I will catch y'all back out on the water with another review. Peace.